I think when you get into the Bible and you learn about Jesus, what he did for us, and what is potentially to come, I kind of grow up a little bit. So I think I have become more of a man and less of a child.
They're not feeling the pull like we were necessarily, so it's hard sometimes to like get it across. Like, you really should do this. Like, this could really change your life. Like, there is a hell, but I don't know that they believe it, and it's hard to like convince them sometimes, and it's painful because it's your family, And
Hi guys, and welcome back to the Front Row with Friends podcast. If you don't know me, my name is Katie, and today I am joined by the Georgia family, who I'm actually going to have introduce each other.
All right. I guess I'll start.
Go for it.
So over here to my left is Andrea Georgia. We've been married for quite a long time. We've got 3 kids. She actually started out living in New York. Me as well. I was upstate New York, and she was in Long Island. I actually met her at a Mets game.
Oh,
I went to visit a friend in the city.
That's so sweet.
And we sat next to each other and just clicked immediately. And it was kind of a long distance thing for a while, but then we started dating, and eventually got married, moved down to North Carolina, and so we've been together for I think 13 years now, married.
Wow.
15, I believe, total. Knowing each other. So she actually started out as a PA when I knew her. She was going through PA school for physician assistant, and she did that for a long time. Worked in surgery, worked in family practice, done a lot of amazing things.
Wow.
And then once we've had our kids for a certain amount of time, they started getting into public school, and she just felt called to teach them differently than they were getting in public school. And so she's recently got into that, and which is amazing. Seemed very difficult, something I probably couldn't do myself.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, she's doing a great job, and blessed to have her as my wife.
Oh, this would be a good place for applause sign. All right.
well, that's a tough one to follow. We took all my answers.
He's like, she's like won every award. She's the best.
In the Olympics recently.
Yeah.
But this is my husband, Mark. And we're fairly new to Friends. We started coming here back in September of 2025.
Okay.
But we felt like home right away. We just loved it here.
No.
And Mark is an engineer, so he's a very like technical guy, and
Smart.
yeah, very smart. And it's a fact. And we we were looking for a place that our family could call home, and we both just love this church so much, and we're excited to be here.
Yay. I'm excited to have you guys. And like I said, this will be exciting for me because I'll be learning along with the viewers everything about you guys.
Awesome.
So to kick things off, this is a podcast mainly about y'all's story, how you came to the Lord, your dynamics with each other, your family. We want to tell like personal testimonies, I guess, just how people came to Christ and to Friends, etc., all that. Yeah. So our first question, I like to know, what were y'all's backgrounds of spirituality, like growing up?
Yeah, you can say.
So I was raised as a Catholic up in New York, and we did Sunday school. I think starting in like kindergarten, and we went, to like this children's church type mass, and then we would go to Sunday school after, and I did that all the way up until I started high school. Okay. And then for high school, I went to an all-girls Catholic high school. That was interesting. Lots of stories from there.
Yeah, I'll bet.
And it was just very like traditional, and very different from what we've seen here. It was more about like I said, like traditions and not very like biblically based. Like you weren't really like encouraged at that church to read the Bible, and we were even told like when I was a child that hell wasn't real. So when we actually first started coming here, and Pastor Darren was getting up there and talking about like a fire. Me and Mark were like, is that a joke? Like, what's he talking about?
Interesting.
And so we were like, haha.
It's not a joke.
And it wasn't a joke. And we
He's
were
making
like,
this up.
but just kind of like very different like religious experiences.
Sure,
So
yeah.
so then after high school, you know, we kind of didn't really see the relevance of it. Like it just seemed like we were going just to, you know, check it off a list. Like we went Sunday and you know, and felt good about ourselves for going, I guess, but it was more just sitting through it, like what time is this over, you know, and then went about our day. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that was my background with it.
Yeah, mine was pretty similar to that. We grew up going on Sundays, Catholic, up in New York. I don't remember ever really getting much out of it. We did do the communion, and that type of thing, but eventually Sundays became on holidays, and then it kind of dropped off. And again, I don't think I never really understood what they were talking about. Maybe it was because I was pretty young, and you know, I don't remember there being a kids program. It was like just sitting in the regular pews with everybody else and listening.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a lot of like heavy religion. I know my grandparents were very big into it, on both sides, one side more than the other. But again, it was never something that was dominating in my upbringing.
Got you. So both were very like traditional. Yeah, just this is what's been done. We go to church,
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah, going through the motions.
Yeah, going through the motions. That makes sense. That's interesting that you didn't. Wait, let me clarify. So you didn't believe in hell, or they just didn't teach you about it?
They told us when we were kids that that wasn't real. That it wasn't, because you hear about it and you're like, you know, is hell a place you go? And the teachers like at the Sunday school were like, oh no, that's not real. Don't worry about that. And they didn't talk about it during services either. So so yeah, it was really like shocking to us. Like I had to find it in the Bible. I was like, is he serious?
Like, I gotta look this up.
We did. We both did. We were like, is he joking? We're like a fire.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. That makes sense though. I mean, why would you hear about it otherwise?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we were like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
I'd like you guys to speak a little more on the subject of coming to the Lord and your personal stories. Because I don't know much about it. Like, I don't know if you came to the Lord very recently, together, separately, anything. Floor's open. Floor's yours.
You want to start?
I can start. Okay. So I think like I felt always like I've believed in God, but I didn't, and I've believed that Jesus died on the cross for us, but I think I've had doubts like throughout my life, and we've been through like some struggles in our lives. Like we had fertility issues. I lost my dad to cancer almost 10 years ago. Rough. And like at times like that, you know, like I would try to pray and, you know, and get kind of reconnected. But then when Charlie Kirk died, and we kind of, I should say, we felt like at times in our lives, like kind of pulled to come, or at least I did, like to go to find a church and to get closer with God. And we would go maybe like, you know, for a time, like one time, and then we wouldn't follow through with it. And then after Charlie Kirk died, back in September, we didn't even know him that well, but we were just like watching like the world or some people like celebrating his death, and we were like, this is horrifying. I was like, I don't feel like we're living our lives right. Like this is not what we want with our lives and for our kids. I was like, I don't think this is the right path that we're going down. And so we just felt a really strong pull to come. And then we started coming, and like I said, like a lot of this was kind of like shock to us. Like we didn't understand. I didn't know what was salvation. I was like, what does it mean to be saved? What is he talking about? We didn't understand a lot of it. And hell and like all the stuff. I'm like, okay, like I need to process and understand, you know, what all this is. And then we also both are from science backgrounds, and we went to secular like state schools.
Ooh, yeah.
So we were, you know, heavily taught like evolution and all the stuff, and we're reading, you know, Genesis, and we're like, wow, like, you know, if they're saying, you know, the earth was around for like 6,000 years, but then like the evolutionists are saying it's been around billions of years, like one of these has to be true and one has to not be true.
Right. Yeah.
So, so we had a talk with like Pastor Darren about it, and he was like, let me point you to someone. He talked to us about Kent Hovind with a disclaimer that like he's had some tax issues. So he was like, just don't worry about
disclaimer.
That
He doesn't like taxes.
Yeah.
but he was like really knowledgeable, like with more like evidence-based stuff on why creation made sense. And I just, for me, felt like after like watching all that stuff, like my whole like floor dropped out from under me. Like I felt like everything I was taught was a lie. And so I realized like throughout my life, like I was just thinking about things in not the right way. So, so then I felt a strong call to be saved and understanding what salvation was. So after one of the services on October 26th, I guess about probably like a month after we started coming, I went up to Pastor Will and was like, I think I'm ready to be saved. And he talked to me, and, you know, we went through with it, and then so.
Yeah. So I think my journey was a little bit longer than Andrea's. So, you know, I was very much a scientific minded individual for
Makes
a long
sense.
time. And I was kind of in between maybe an atheist and agnostic for most of my youth, and then into adulthood. And you know, Andrea was always drawn to it more than I was. I mean, I sometimes I kind of resisted it because I made excuses like, well, think of all the harm that religion has brought to the world, right? I mean, there's been wars. You know, which religion does everyone think is actually true? And you know, this is causing a lot of strife in humanity. So the journey for me to see God and see Jesus and, you know, move in that direction was pretty big change. And I think, you know, it follows kind of what Andrea said before, you know, just seeing the world kind of going down a really dark path and traveling the path of the world for the long time. And I think it was that, him getting, you know, murdered and people celebrating it. And again, we weren't like Charlie Kirk fans or anything, but just seeing the reaction to some person just trying to preach about Jesus was intense. But on top of that, there's just a lot of weird things going on. There's just, you know, all the stuff in the politics, it seems to, it's probably not new, because as we're finding, a lot of stuff in the Bible is a lot of stuff that happens these days has already happened in the Bible. It's talked about. None of this is really new, but the whole transgender and taking advantage of kids and actually on that note, I feel like that was one of the things I always leaned on, was in these traditional religions that are kind of built on, not tradition is not the right word I'm looking for, but just going through the motions. They're built on that. Like, they had all these issues 10,
with the
15
priests
years ago with the priests taking advantage of kids. And it looked like just a hierarchy of people who were in power using religion as a crutch to hold their power. Kind of like the Philistines, as we're learning.
History repeating itself.
None of this is new. So anyway, after that all happened, and just some internal struggles with myself, and, you know, being validated through people in the world, and kind of pushing and struggling in life to find that the next step is just more of that, because there's nothing really to strive for, to believe in or look forward to, pushed me to say, okay, maybe there's something that I'm really missing. And that's kind of when I opened up to being like, okay, you know, this thing happened, you were really interested, and it's like, okay, maybe I need to open my mind to something not scientific.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so you guys both had this more like I don't know, I like seeing different personalities and how they respond to religion, you know, and respond to the Lord, because if you've been brought up and decided for yourself, like, oh, but ABCD doesn't make sense, and if you were to rely on people for representing the gospel, we would not be Christians. And especially with like the response to Charlie Kirk's death, I wasn't a super fan either, and I remember seeing it and being like, oh my gosh,
we're there now.
Like
this is what's happening.
The hate that just was stirred up, and even if you aren't like so like just chasing the Lord and fully on fire, like
Yeah.
that kind of hate, it's like anyone should be.
Yeah.
Anyone
Like,
should be
ugh.
disgusted by it.
Yeah.
Right.
And a blatant murder of somebody, right?
Yeah, 100%. It's like
Yeah.
it's not even about his religion. It's the fact that you guys are
Right.
rejoicing over this
Yes.
family losing this
Mhm.
man.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was life changing for us. We were like, he died for a purpose, and I think that was the purpose, and it was horrifying, but I'm glad that some good came out of it.
Oh yeah, 100%. I love
Yeah.
seeing how many people like you guys saw that and were shaken up of like, whoa,
Yeah,
like,
something's wrong here.
something's wrong.
Yep.
Our
Yeah.
side's being a little weird about this, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys both started coming to Friends, is what you mean, I'm assuming? To church.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we felt, so that's interesting you say that, because we didn't actually know where to go. So we
Okay.
just felt, because like I said, we had a Catholic background, and we had gone to, there's like a Catholic church down here. I think it's Holy Family,
Yeah.
and we had done a service there.
Is that the sheep
Like
guy?
Yes.
Sheep guy?
Yeah.
There's a whole-
It was like years ago. I think it was before we had the kids, right? I think.
No, I think we might have had Sammy, one or two of them.
Uh-huh. We
'Cause
had a
they
couple.
had a section for kids. We're like, oh, that's nice.
Oh.
Oh. Maybe no, or maybe we had someone watch them. I don't remember, but we went to a Catholic church down here, and it again like just didn't connect. Like the priest was up there, they very little like talking about the Bible.
Mm.
He like spent a fair portion of it like going through like the life of a shepherd, but like not in a way to like apply it to life, but more in a way like a shepherd would wake up at 6:45 and then he would feed the sheep this
It was like
type of
40
grain.
minutes of
Oh my
And-
gosh.
day in the life of a shepherd.
And we were really trying. We're like trying to understand what he's saying, and it was just like brutal. And so we were like, we're never coming back. This is terrible.
Wow.
And then we when the Charlie Kirk thing happened, we're like, well, we don't want to go there. And we weren't sure. We didn't know like all the different things, like what Baptist meant versus other than people were like, don't go to a Baptist church. And I was like, I don't know. So then we went to Olivia, was at the time going to preschool at Macedonia Moravian. So we were like, oh, let's try that and see, what that's like. So we went there. I think Charlie Kirk died like
September or something.
maybe
Yeah.
it was during the week. And so that Sunday we went to her preschool, and they were very sweet. But again, like it was kind of like a little bit similar to the Catholic Church in that it wasn't they didn't talk about the Bible a lot.
Mm.
They didn't even talk about what happened to Charlie Kirk like at the service, which was a little weird.
Oh.
And it wasn't bad. We liked it, but it was, and I think like the average age there was probably like 85.
Oh, that's rough.
So we felt like
Didn't have
we
the
just-
community that,
Yeah.
and that's a little
Diversity.
worldly, like,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of old people, no kids, other kids, very few. It's like,
Yeah, they're just like y'all.
Yeah.
yeah, had the white hairs. But so I was like, okay. I was like, we like that place, but I was like, let's. And actually, it was like 15 or 20 minutes away from our house, and we drive past Friends a lot. We actually live like 5 minutes away,
Oh, that's cute.
and we've
Yeah.
lived there for like a long. Like we've been here,
we moved down here.
yeah,
Wow.
like
that's
13
cool.
years.
Yeah.
And we were just like I know it's a Baptist church, but I was like, let's just try it because other people had told us don't go to a Baptist
We
church.
thought Baptist, like, there's some videos
Yeah.
about like real like crazy Baptist churches where they're on the floor like convulsing. And I was like, I don't know if that's,
Like,
I don't know if
that's
we're
a
ready for that.
little sketchy.
Yeah.
So we
haven't
told
leveled
each other.
up.
Yeah, that's
we
right. We're not
literally,
at
I
that
was
point
like,
yet.
listen, I was like, well, just go. I was like, if it's weird, like we can just leave and never come back.
Sure, yeah.
Just pretend it didn't
They
happen.
don't sacrifice us.
Yeah, that's right.
We're good. And so that Sunday, the Sunday before we came here, we went to the Moravian one, and then we're like, we're gonna just try a different one and see if it's a better fit for us.
Mhm.
And we went, and I mean, I was just like, yes, like this is, I think, what I've been called. Like I kept feeling that pull, but I didn't know where to go or what would like fill that need or that pull like I was feeling, and then when we came, I was like, oh, this is what I think we need to do. Like this, I felt strongly about. But I didn't know how Mark was going to take it, and I didn't know like the kids because they had really not been exposed to religion and church.
Sure.
And so I was like, I have no idea. I really hope that they they felt the same way I do. And so, you know, it was that question, like when we all got in the car, like what did everyone think? And I was so nervous. Like, did they hate it? And everyone was like, we loved it. We want to go back. And we felt that way ever since. So it's been awesome.
That's so sweet. That's awesome. I can totally understand the like, so what did we think?
Yeah.
What's the reviews, the feelings of the family?
Wait till the doors are closed.
Yeah, right. The door shut, they're like, it was terrible.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so cool though that you felt that like supernatural weird tug that people do feel, and it makes sense that you were a little worried because someone who I'm sure you believe is very smart and scientific minded. It's like, because some people see spirituality as woo woo, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it feels like it's faith without facts, which is completely untrue.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
Which I didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
sure. Yeah. How would you?
Yeah.
I thought the Bible was like, here's how to do good stuff.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, I haven't killed anyone. Like, I'm pretty good.
I mean, I'm not a politician.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And no, it turns out there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I want to know, like, timeline wise, like, you got saved first, and then when did you get saved?
November 9th. So I was like a month later.
Okay, that's not bad.
Not too bad. Yeah, pretty close.
A little runner up.
Running up the bat. Yeah. Yeah, and it was a similar story. I just heard a service, and I felt like it just reached differently. And you know, I came out to Will and Pastor Will, and I was feeling not upset, but just almost, I guess, concerned that I wanted to go the direction, but I didn't want to do it unfaithfully.
Yeah.
Where I'm not, you know, fully in agreement with it. There's still a lot to learn, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have all the answers, and no one does. But I just felt like something should change that day because of the message that I heard. And so then he got Pastor Darren, and me and him went to a room, and he helped me through the getting saved on that day. So
that must have been crazy to hear about. Did you know what was happening? Was he like, I'm gonna go talk?
I was like, maybe, but I knew like he was still feeling conflicted about it because we had a lot of conversations at home like about it. And so he was just like, can you watch the kids, you know, for a little bit? I was like, yeah, like sure. And then he came back and he was like, I got saved, and everyone was like, oh yeah.
Group hug. Oh, that's so sweet. So it was so you both had that moment where you were interceded with the Lord, and it sounds like Will led you both to the Lord, which is so sweet.
Yeah.
Did you go to Will because you're like, well, she likes Will, or did you both just love Will?
I think Will was just, so a couple things. First, I think what kind of got me a lot more comfortable with maybe opening up to religion, or Jesus Christ, we don't need to say religion, because it doesn't matter, it's whatever's in the Bible, was the fact that when we first or second time we came to church, you know, we talked to Pastor Darren, and he was like, hey, I want to come talk to you guys. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll try to get a babysitter and come here. And he's like, no, I'm just going to come to your house. And I was like, the pastor's going to come to our house?
Like what?
I know, we were shocked. I was
why?
like,
he's going to burst into flames? Like, we're not religious people. Like, this is
like, what are you going to do to it?
Yeah, I know. I was like, so I was like, just the fact that he was willing to come out of the way, especially running a pretty big church, right?
Yeah.
And take individual time with people who didn't know who were going to stay, or you know what our story was really awesome. So that really pushed us to, you know, I guess, or at least pushed me to be more open to what's going on here, because it seems like someone actually really did care.
Yeah.
And Pastor Will, you know, he was also there when we first came, and every time we come, he would always make a point to come over and say how we're doing and see if we had any questions. And he pulls off to the side and you're like, here's what you're going to need to learn today. And just the fact that, you know, everyone here seems to be putting out that extra effort to relative strangers at the time was, I didn't see that. Everyone's always nice at church, and, you know, usually they're not going to be mean to you.
Yeah.
But to take the time to step aside and really kind of understand your story and help you along there was very different.
Very intentional.
Right.
Purpose.
Yep.
Yeah. It's been makes y'all feel good. He brags about you guys a lot. We were in a meeting once, and we were talking about the new Christians in the church, and he was like, the Georgers just inspire me so much, and I love them.
He's so encouraging.
Oh, he is.
Really
it's a
great.
gift. For people who don't know, Pastor Willow is our assistant pastor here. I wanted to clarify because I don't know who this is going to reach.
Right.
But anyway, so you guys noticed that certain people in your lives, like Will, could see a change in your behavior. So did you guys start to notice changes about each other when you first got saved?
Yeah, I think like Mark was saying earlier that he for a long time like really looked for validation among like coworkers. Like he was like really afraid to talk to other people like about his like change to like wanting to pursue Christianity and just other things in his life. And I think I've seen like big changes in him where he's more focused on like, what does the Lord think of me? And actually we got baptized. Was it in May?
March,
It was
right?
It was this.
It was recent. It was the last one.
It was an M month, March.
I think it was. May. I think it was
might have
May.
been May.
I think it was
You're
May.
right. I think there was.
And and Mark was like proud of it and told like maybe like 2 coworkers, and then a bunch more coworkers came to watch him get baptized, and it was amazing.
It was like
and
3 rows of people, which is
and
so awesome.
And I was like, "Go, Mark!" And so he's like come a long way. Like he was like telling no one. He didn't even want to bring a Bible to his desk at work because he's like, because I was like, "Oh, you could read it like on your lunch break," but he's like, "No." Because there's people there that are critical, of other people there who read the Bible. So he's like, I don't want them to say something about me. But he's changed a lot in that way. It's still a struggle. Like we're still new to this, but I've seen a lot of change already. Like that.
And I think for Andrea, there was kind of a emptiness that was always trying to be filled in some ways. You've spoken about like the travel.
Yeah.
We try to plan trips to get away, which was really fun, and we always, had a good time. But then you come back and it's like, when's our next trip? Like we gotta, always like there's something missing, and you can't fill it with buying things. It doesn't get filled with. It gets distracted, right?
Yeah.
With trips and different things. So, just content with life as we have it today. Which it's for us. God's been really good to us. We've had a good life so far. And so I think just her acceptance of what we have and appreciation of that has really changed in the time we've been here.
Oh yeah, that's a really big one. I would say both of us, like with the gratitude. Like I don't think like we saw things that way. Like even just to be thankful for like things like air conditioning. Like we never even thought about that.
Sure, yeah.
And then just coming here, like it's just really opened our eyes, like how much we have and how to be thankful for what we have. It's really changed like our perspective on things.
Yeah, that's huge. Even no matter where you come from consistently, every salvation story is like there was something huge missing, and it's almost like just always there, and you don't know how to deal with it. You're like, oh, I don't know, go to therapy or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll travel, I'll do whatever.
Right.
And all those are good things.
Right.
But without the Lord, it's so different. And it does bring that contentment and that having 3 rows of people come out to support you, which is so cool.
Yeah, that was great. That was great.
Yeah, that's an awesome thing.
Yeah, we're proud. We're happy that that the Lord has led us here, and like it's changed our lives, in so many ways. Like it's been amazing.
Yeah, your kids are amazing, if I could say that. All 3 of them.
It's good to hear, because sometimes at home we don't feel that.
The cameras are off. I'm like, get out. But they have different personalities, but they're so lovely, all of them. And I was wondering, how have you seen like Jesus coming into y'all's lives, changing like how you, I suppose, like parent or treat your kids or your relationship with them? How has it changed them?
Yeah, another thing I didn't mention before, but another reason I think we were feeling kind of pulled to come to church was because our oldest, Samantha, she's 12 now, but at the time I guess she was 11, and someone came to the door and left like a card. This was before we were coming to the church, and they had left a card like in the door about God or something. and she picked up the card and like scoffed and was like, they believe in God. And I was like, whoa, like you don't? And I was like,
They missed something.
so I was like, I feel like we went down the wrong path here. And so I was concerned, like having a child that was like scoffing at God. And then after like coming here, you know, and her learning about it, I mean, she has just made such a transformation, and she is so inquisitive, and Gabby too, and even Olivia, like, you know, and they read the Bible, and actually it's kind of funny, because most of our family is either like agnostic or they're not believers, and so they try to teach their cousins. Like they're like, you don't know Jesus, and like, and she was actually this weekend was talking to Jasper. What was she saying? Something about what? She was like, what is God?
Yeah, or do you know Jesus?
Oh,
like, yeah, I don't really know. And she's like, you should read the Bible and learn.
She's like, he's my best friend.
Yeah.
You have to know him.
And then it's helped us, I guess, with raising them too. Like we had a lot of questions, like, you know, because I feel like at least our experience with the world was like very minimal on like the discipline, and this was helpful to us, like kind of as a guide, like how to character build and like and how to raise them better, and we have like a source to point to now. So like, you know, if they're being disrespectful, I can go, hey, let's look at what, you know, God says about this, or what Jesus says about this, and so. And then when they see it, they know, like, I'm like, it's not me. Like, you know, he entrusted me, like, to raise you. And this is what he wants. He wants to make sure, like, I'm teaching you to do these things. So, you know, it's right here. And they can't fight you on it because it's there. So.
Yeah, right. Take it up with him.
Yeah. I was like, sorry.
Tyler, he said it, not me.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think learning more about the Bible and Jesus has kind of transformed me a little bit to become a better person. I think when you're worldly, it's a very selfish way to live.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to strive for at the end. It's make as much as you can with what time you have, and then when you get to the end, it's over. So do whatever you can, and it's all about you. And I think when you get into the Bible and you learn about Jesus, what he did for us, and what is potentially to come, you kind of grow up a little bit. So I think I have become more of a man and less of a child in the last 10 months. And I think taking that step kind of makes me a little less selfish, and it will allow me to be a better parent to the kids, and kind of look out for them more than what's best for me.
That's good
mentality.
And they definitely, I've noticed, like, follow what we do. Like, where I thought we didn't have as much influence as we do, but they definitely, like, are watching what we're doing. Like, we were talking, because we were kind of, like, this was all very new to us, like, because we were baptized as Catholics, but they baptized babies. And so we didn't understand. We were like, why do you get baptized again? Like, this is strange.
Yeah, we already did that.
Yeah, like, do we have to do this again? Like, we didn't understand. And so after we were saved, we were like, should we get baptized? And we were like, well, let's just watch one. And then we watched like a second one. And then I was like, okay, like, I think it's time. Like, we need to go do this. And at first Samantha was like, I don't think I want to do that. Like, I don't. And I was like, not pushing her. I was like, okay, like, that's fine. I was like, you don't have to. And then on her own, I think because we were going, she felt more encouraged, and she was like, actually, Mom, she's like, I want to do it. And then Gabby was like, I'm doing it. So they just kind of, you know, are encouraged, and they, you know, and they follow in your leadership. So I think it's good that we're steering them in a better direction than we used to be.
100%. I really like how you guys handled that, because I know a lot of families who are like, no, you're getting baptized, like, you're getting saved.
Yeah.
Because they just see it as like kind of a check the box thing, even in, you know, religion that's more relationship based. So to see you guys be like, okay, it's your choice, that I think encourages kids more to be like, oh, well, what do I think about this? You know, do I want this like my parents do? I think you guys have a very unique gift of finding the Lord, you know, a little later than like 5 years old. Right. You guys weren't brought up with like the drill and kill of Awana and all of that. So in parenting with like, oh, we're brand new to that, is that a little intimidating? Or is it exciting? Is it everything?
I think it's kind of both. I think they ask a lot of questions that I don't have the answers to.
Ooh, yeah.
But it kind of forces me to look and learn. And I'm like, let's learn this together because I don't know.
Yeah, let's
So,
Google it.
Lydia's got the kid Bible, which I really like because it's a lot of pictures and it summarizes up into very small sentences.
Yeah,
So,
convenient.
which is nice because but then she knows more of the stories than I do. So it's
Yeah, you're like, dang it.
I
Where's
know.
that?
Go look it up in this big thing.
Like, you're unemployed, you're cheating.
That's right. That's right. You don't work here. But yeah, no, I agree. I think it's intimidating. One, it's nice to be able to say we're helping them find their way with Jesus. But in the other way, we're still trying to figure this out. And there's a lot of questions that they have that either we still struggle with, or just have no idea.
But I also think it's kind of good for them to see that we don't know things because
That's
I
good.
think even for like mature believers, there's still going to be things you don't understand and you don't know. So I think it's good to kind of show them, hey, we don't know either, but we'll look it up and try to ask someone or make sense of it just to teach them as they get older and they have more questions because they will. Like, what do you do when you're doing something new and you don't know?
Oh, yeah. 100%. That's actually one of the things that I really love about my dad is he's very, like, I don't know. You know?
Yeah.
I'm
He's
not sure.
totally okay
Tell you
with
the
saying
truth.
that. Yeah. He's like, let's figure it out.
Yeah.
And especially if things get super philosophical and technical, like, we can't foolproof prove every single verse in the Bible. It's half relationship, half, I guess, creative evidence.
Right.
But to have a parent that's very like, well, let's figure it out. That takes a lot of humility.
Yeah.
And it does teach kids that, hey, we don't know everything. We're not mini gods.
Right.
We're just learning this the same way that you are.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
You guys already brought up contentment and being able to be a little more vulnerable. You know, because it takes such faith to just suddenly make a turnaround and be like, actually, I'm going to go all in on this thing that people told me not to do.
Yeah.
So since coming to Christ, and you've had a good 8 months to live it out. Yeah, which is awesome. Have you guys noticed any, I don't know, new gifts pop up or anything that you've been good at suddenly transformed into something different, or how is God using that? Just a tough question.
I think I've definitely gotten more patient. And like I said, humbled a little bit. I don't know if that's necessarily a gift, but
No, yeah,
knowing
it's a
that,
fruit of
you
the
know,
spirit.
more looking out to what I don't know, which is quite a lot. And there's a lot of great resources too to help with that, which we didn't really have to. What was the guy you said?
Charles Stanley.
Charles Stanley. Well, he's a really great
another-
one.
Oh, great guy.
But yeah, there's a lot of things out there that can help you learn, and so being able to say that I don't know and you know, not take the easy route of being like, well, it's in this textbook and it's science, so obviously it's just, again, being a little more humble with myself.
That's good. That's hard.
What's your gift, Andrea?
No
She's
pressure.
like, everything. I can't pick one.
That's right, there's so many.
But I would say for sure, teaching, homeschooling and teaching kids, can be really challenging, and even just parenting too. And I think before coming to Christ and reading the Bible and really understanding what we're supposed to do, now I'm able to manage it better. Whereas before, I might get really frustrated or feel really overwhelmed or anxious. Whereas now, I can pray about it. I know, it's not all on me. I know, he's going to help teach them too. And he's going to, amplify the stuff I'm teaching them. So I think it brings me comfort and it helps probably me be a lot less stressed out, which helps them not have a stressed out mom. So that's been a gift to them.
You're welcome.
You can thank Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been good.
I'd like to pivot a little. How you guys said earlier that a lot of your family is either agnostic or Catholic or otherwise. Has there been sort of a shift? I don't know y'all's relationship with your extended family, if you never see them, if you see them every weekend, but how has that been for you guys, being new believers?
Been a little bit of a challenge.
Yeah.
So my parents are in North Carolina. They're a couple hours away, so we see them and talk to them regularly.
That's good.
and then your mom is in about an hour south of Charlotte. So we just saw her last weekend.
Nice.
And I think it's when we originally talked to them about it, it was kind of oh, we're so glad you're, because I think they came from, again, the tradition of it, and we weren't in the tradition. I don't know if they didn't really push us one way or the other, but when we said we were starting to get into going to a church and reading about the Bible, there was a lot of excitement, like, oh, that's great, you're doing something amazing. But now that I think we're, kind of jumped full in, I think it's a little intimidating to some of our family members in terms of, it is like your lifestyle changes.
Yeah, 100%.
Quite a bit. I mean, it's important to come to church, and it's important to, hear the word of God and listen to the pastor, because we're learning. And I mean, if we go a week without coming to church or getting a little refresher, especially with other people, because you can read the Bible yourself, but getting a little bit of a push from other people to, hey, pay attention, and this is important. It encourages you. So it's become a priority in our life that sometimes interferes with what we used to do. So it hasn't been any like backlash or anything, which is nice, but there is certain, I guess, hesitations, and the fact that they're not quite in the same path that we are can be a little bit awkward.
Yeah. And I think like with my dad, he was an atheist actually. And when he died, like I didn't know what salvation was or any of that. I wasn't even sure. I was like, is there heaven? I mean, I was told there wasn't hell when he died. I was like, is there a heaven? I don't know. And but like thinking back, like it makes me sad sometimes, because I'm like, just to think of him like not in heaven is kind of devastating. And so like Mark's grandma, we're actually going to go up to Rochester to see her. And she's Catholic, but not saved. And so she was just recently in the hospital, and, she doesn't seem like she has much time left. And so, that kind of weighs on us, like to just want our family to be saved and feel that pull. But then at the same time, like they're not feeling the pull like we were necessarily. So it's hard sometimes to like get it across, like you really should do this, like this could really change your life, like there is a hell, but I don't know that they believe it, and it's hard to like convince them sometimes, and it's painful because it's your family, and even if it's not your family, it's still painful because you care about other humans, and so
that's actually a pretty impressive story in itself. My grandmother, she's up in her 80s, but 85. Very, very unhealthy. Smoked, drank, lived a good life, they would say.
The works.
Yeah, not at all. And she went to the hospital 3 weeks ago, maybe, and 7% heart functionality. Went to the ICU, and I mean, everyone was around the bed waiting for it to happen. And she had known that we were planning on coming up, and she's been saying for a long time, a year or 2 years, that she wants to see the kids, and she hasn't seen Olivia when she was, other than a baby.
Wow.
And just another testament. I wouldn't have believed that she could make it out of the ICU. And I think, Andrew was praying, and I was praying, and she turned it around, and she's home now, and she's been doing okay for 3 weeks. And I think it's God intervening to give her the opportunity to see her grandkids, great grandkids, before she passes. So I mean, it's an unbelievable.
Yeah,
that she's still around, right?
And another chance for salvation, because we're already thinking of what we're going to say when we go up there. So I'm like,
y'all are preparing sermon notes.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, I'm gonna figure this out.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't remember what book it's in, but the Bible calls it a godly grief. That once you're born again, into this new life, you realize what everyone else is missing, and the people who have passed, and that is almost like grieving all over again. So hard. What, I know, in the same vein, but what's something that's been very difficult about being a new believer, like a struggle that you've noticed, or a misconception, whatever?
I think one of the things that I struggle with is forgiveness. Like, it was kind of because I feel like in the worldly way, revenge and like bitterness is common and like expected and normalized. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, if someone offends you, like, you have the right to hate them and be mad at them, and but we're trying our best to follow what Jesus wants us to do, and he wants us to forgive our enemies. And that's really hard to do. So that's been something I'm praying about. I know, like, our flesh like cannot do it ourselves, so I'm praying about it. But yeah, that's the tough one. Like, to find peace and to try to forgive others who are mean to you and and harm you or harm your kids, and you're like, okay, I'm trying.
Say a prayer.
Yeah, I think so. I've got a friend at work who has been kind of helping me along this journey. I've known him for 5 years, so he's known me when I was not thinking about God or religion at all, and now he's known me in this new phase. And something he said really stuck to me. If you're not helping Jesus, then the devil leaves you alone, which really kind of makes sense now. And it's something that Pastor Will also told us, is that, once you become saved, I feel like the devil kind of starts to come after you.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, nah, that's not. What does he mean by that?
I'm good.
But I can see how that is the case. I think, it's whether it's just your different perception of the world, or if he does try to put blockades up in front of you to make it difficult, I think that's a real thing. And I think, a struggle with being a believer is the persecution is the word, but just the going against what the world has taught and believes, what the rest of the world believes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me 11 months ago, or whatever it was before we came here. And now it's starting to understand why, following Jesus is beneficial and what's the point of it, and what, its purposefulness. But it's hard to convince the world what you see without them putting an effort to do it. And you almost can't force it on anyone. It's got to be discovered on their own. So that's a challenge, is changing who you were, and having it be accepted by the people who knew you beforehand.
That's hard, especially like when you get past like 16, you start to have your personality all developed,
Right.
and your worldview, and you've got kids and a job and everything. It's like it is so evident that even if you try to hide it, you really can't. Like, if you're truly thriving in the Lord, and the devil does come to like tap you on the shoulder, he's like, hey, you should like do this. You don't have to read your Bible today. It's boring, right?
Yeah.
And it's startling for a lot of people. It still is for me to this day, especially if you get busy, distracted. Oh, that's rough. Especially if you are doing good things like homeschooling or working in engineering, it's like, but I'm doing something good.
Right.
So that's basically,
This is good. This is
yeah,
right. Yep.
same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys already discussed a little bit about it, but when you guys first came into like the church culture, I guess, what were your first impressions, and how is that different now?
So I would say when we were kids, like, it just felt like very formal. Like, you went in, you were quiet, you sat down, you wore a dress, and you got the bread, you talked to the priest during like
got the bread.
confessions,
Get the bread.
every time, like, you
sip out of a
did,
cup.
you did communion, like you did communion every time. You listened, if you could understand what they were saying, and it was like an hour long, and it was just very formal. You did your communion when you were this age, you did your confirmation, your baptism, like, it was all just like very formal and traditional. And then it seems very different now it seems like, which is kind of what I think we understood that we needed, but is just a personal relationship with God and with Jesus, like, just like reading your Bible, and like and Pastor Darren is so great at talking about scripture and making it relatable and understandable to really anyone. I mean, even Samantha has sat through and been like, did you hear it say like that? That was so great.
Oh.
You know, and I love that, like, she can sit through it, because when I went to Catholic church at her age, like, I didn't know what they were saying a lot of the
Yeah.
time. And so it's great that she can sit there and understand a sermon and, you know, and apply it to her life. But that's been a big difference for me. That was a welcome difference. Like it was time to really understand like what the Bible said and what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, I think it's something with Baptists is it's really all centered around the Bible.
Yeah.
And again, another thing that Pastor Darren talked about is you don't need the church, you don't need him or the community. It's if you have the book, like that's the core of everything.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have all the other stuff because that really helps you along. Which I don't think I understood that, or I don't think it was presented that that's possible in other religions and where we're growing up. So coming here and understanding, you know, how you can learn this thing and how it can help you, and have someone try to like really help you in that path and understand it, rather than just here's the words and, you know, now we're going to sing a couple of hymns and move on. It's just totally different when it's more personal. And I really like how you know, here he reads through the passage and then he kind of explains what it means, because then there's putting context to it, and he brings real life, you know, modern situations into what it's saying in the Bible, and you can really kind of relate that to your life, and it makes it purposeful.
And the other thing I feel like is so awesome about this church too is that it's not just on Sunday, like and or not just Sunday morning, like like we go to life class and we're learning there, and you know, and then on Wednesday we do like the prayer Bible study thing, and you know, and then there's also like events and things that they do throughout that are really encouraging and are helping us really grow as Christians. We're like the church that or at least the church I grew up in, like didn't do anything like that. It was just your Sunday morning, you know, get it done and then go home. And it wasn't like read your Bible every day. Like this should be like an everyday walk with Christ. Like it's just go on Sunday and that's it. So
if someone would have asked me a year ago if I would be going to church 3 days a week, I thought they were crazy.
Why would I do that?
Yeah, there was a comedian we heard that recently. They're like, "You're going to church at night? You already went in the morning."
You already did that.
That's right. Yeah, you checked that box. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I love how, I mean, I can brag on our church all day, but healthy churches, they do have this consistency of we're a family. We want to meet all the time, you know, and we need to encourage each other all the time.
Yeah.
And with not a lot of, you know, I don't know, it's not like someone's hovering over them being like, you have to do this and that you guys pay to get into every event. That's not how it is.
Right.
Especially in today's day and age, you know, I've seen a lot of like isolation with technology or whatever the cause is.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of spaces to just be, you know, like you have school, you got work, you go home.
Right.
And church is a place where you can show up and be yourself. And yes, you can volunteer, but it's optional. If you just need to sit there on the pew today and talk to some people, you can do that.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. The hospitality of it all is really exciting.
It is. Yeah, and they do a good job here. I know we have a ton of churches, but this is by far the most welcoming, and like you said, it's not forced on you, but it's there if you need it.
Yeah.
And just the group of people too is really nice. Everyone's been welcoming.
Yeah, everyone's been welcoming. We've dealt with issues sometimes in like other churches we've been to where it can be like either cliquish or they just like they might look down on you, like and that was kind of a fear, like when we came, like, or they have like a certain like set of things they always say and we didn't know them, so we would sit there and feel awkward while everyone else was saying them. We're like,
that's scary.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I feel out of place here. But yeah, we didn't feel that way here. Like it was just really welcoming, and I feel like anyone could go. Like you don't have to know it. You could not even know who Jesus is, never heard of him in your life, and come, and no one would judge you, and they would help you learn who he was, and that's awesome, because I feel like there's not, or there's been places we've been to that were not like that.
Yeah, it's less of a social club / you know, all right, we're all part of the membership. We got to recite our lines, pay our dues, and it's more like, I love how our pastor presents the gospel every Sunday without fail, because if you walk into church for the first time, that might be your only time.
Right.
And so it's like, we're not just here for the people who have been here 60 years. We're here for those who this is the only Bible they'll read, right? And you guys had that experience of, wait, that is interesting. And he explained why. Of, you know, the application in every day. It's so impactful in a way that someone else might not know. Like, I've seen a lot of complaints of like, oh, this sermon was not specifically here, but everywhere of like, oh, this sermon was all about hell. Like, that's so depressing. I wanted an uplifting sermon. But that could have been the day where someone was like, that's real? Wait.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, wait, tell me more about that.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so important because Pastor Darren says that, and I think it's so true. Like, you don't want to just go to a place that just says positive things, because you need to know the reality of it. And that's one of the things I love about this place is they're just the truth. And that's what I guess because we're like science minded, science minded, but we just want the truth. And I feel like he'll give it to you. Like, bold ways,
it's
which
a little
I love
scary
it.
sometimes.
I'm like, tell it to me.
I've been doing that wrong.
I want to hear it. Let me know, and I'll fix it. Like, don't just tell me like hell isn't real because it sounds scary.
Yeah.
Like, let me know if it's real. Like, I want to know. I don't want to wind up there because you didn't tell me.
100%.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I like it's almost like in a relationship, you know, you want more feedback and communication. The more you have of that, the healthier it is. If you go to a church and like, you're doing great. Yeah. You know, just like manifest everything, you'll be fine. And that's like very like prosperity gospel. And we don't need that as often. Yeah. You know, the truth is I think of word. No, I've forgotten.
Well, I think it helps.
Set you free.
But it's part of your growth. Like, if you're not ever told the truth because you don't want to offend people or make them feel good or whatever, like, how can you grow? Like, because you don't know, especially for us because we're new. So I'm like, I didn't know half of this stuff. So
right.
So we were like, please, like, let us know. But I think it's a good reminder for people too. But yeah,
the Bible challenges you.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's not. I don't know if I just, like I said, I thought it was just a book of here's all the good things that make you a good person, but it's, you know, it's like, here's what you need to be doing. Here's what the world is going to tell you to do. It's sometimes can be uncomfortable.
Oh,
you know, you get your toes stepped on because you're like, oh, maybe what I've been doing isn't what I should be, or is.
Yeah, like when we first started coming here, we both felt like, we're pretty good people. Like, we haven't murdered anyone. Like,
sure,
you know,
no tax fraud.
Yeah, like, we weren't like that guy. And then as we were learning more, I was like, oh no, like, there's a lot we could be doing better. Like, a lot of stuff we didn't even know that we should have been doing better. And so that was really helpful.
Yeah, it is really helpful, the balance between, like, you know, the kindness that you present it with, right? It has to be the right voice, because if you crack open the Bible and read a verse, it's like, you know, you shouldn't lie. And then you go to a church where everyone's like, if you're lying, don't tell us about it, and you're probably evil. You're like, well, I'm never talking about that.
Right.
It has to be met with like a vulnerability of, tell me about that.
Yeah.
Everybody goes through these. There's no new sin or experience under the sun.
Yeah.
No.
Right? Yes.
There's not.
Yeah. And that's been really helpful too, because like, we didn't understand that, like, that man was inherently sinful. Like, we didn't get that concept. And I think that's why we were like, what's going on with the world? This is crazy.
Yeah, right.
And then we came here and we were like, oh, it's always been like that.
Yeah.
Turns out.
Makes sense. Okay.
I was like, oh, okay. That made me feel better. And I was like, what do we do about it now?
Yeah, that's encouraging. Tell me more.
Other people are just as bad as me.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys, again, it's under a year now that you've been saved. So if you could go back or I guess you encounter a person who's where you guys were, like around 8 months ago, what would you say to them?
I would say, don't be scared to go. I think it can be intimidating sometimes to go into a church. And not every church may be right for you. Like, you may go in and they're not, you know, being truthful about the Bible, or they're just there to make you feel good, or it's just a very traditional thing. You can try different churches until you find something that's a good fit, but don't feel intimidated to try, because it can really change your life.
That's good.
Yeah, I say you got to just try to be open and different ideas. I mean, we're all raised a certain way.
Yeah.
Some people start off with as Christians or Baptists and going to church every day, and some aren't exposed to it at all. But just having the willingness to open your mind a little bit and maybe see what else is out there is helpful, and it can lead to amazing things.
It's good. And my final question, we finally made it. If you could, as new believers, say something to a more mature, seasoned believer, what would that be?
I think some advice for someone who knows this is not necessarily go into it with an arrogance, but just understand that, you know, sometimes if you've got someone who's new and is trying to really understand the Bible and understand Jesus Christ, relating it back to the struggles that they had when they were going through it is encouraging, because I think it's overwhelming if you have no understanding of you know, God and Jesus, to all of a sudden see this whole world of stuff that you don't know anything about, and you feel like you're doing it all wrong. For someone else to come in and say, hey, I struggled with this, here's kind of my story of when I was fighting with that, or here's the thing that I still don't understand. I can't remember who it was, but we listened to a couple of podcasts. One guy, very similar story to me, he's an engineer, and he started investigating near-death experiences and trying. It's kind of his scientific way of gaining his belief in what the Bible was saying, which is really cool.
He's like a pastor now. He went from like
my
engineer
God.
to pastor. He's an interesting story.
Oh, send that to me.
It's very interesting.
But what's like inviting about him is, you know, someone might ask him a question, you know, why is it that some murderer who's been terrible all their life and at the end finds Jesus and he's forgiven? Like, that's a hard question, right, to answer. And that was something I struggled with and still do. But to sit back and be like, yeah, you know what, that's a tough question. And then say, here's some stuff where it talks about why that's the case, and you know, maybe be vulnerable and say, hey, I still struggle with that too, but God tells us, you know, about forgiveness. And again, having that ability to reach out and say, yeah, it's a challenging thing sometimes, but you're not alone in trying to figure it out.
It's good.
And I think maybe just don't get like caught in the tradition, because I think as humans, when we do things for a long time, we might get just used to them and comfortable with it. So I think, like, just always remember that there's people out there who have no idea who Jesus is, and there's so many of them, and so just keep that fresh in your mind and try to remember to reach out to people in the community. They may not feel comfortable coming to church, so you may have to, you know, see them at the grocery store or in other places in your life. But there's a lot of people who don't know. We know lots of people who don't in our world. And so just to always remember that, because I think when you go a lot, you're surrounded by people who are believers, and you may not see as many people who aren't, but they're out there.
Oh yeah, there's always the risk of being bubbled in, I guess,
Right.
of like, well, all these people are this way, you know? Like, I think for a solid few months, someone was like, yeah, when's the last time you witnessed someone? I was like, I haven't seen anyone who doesn't know the Lord.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, right.
I've been so wrapped up in it. But that is good to
Yeah.
recognize you have to step out and acknowledge, like, your coworkers or whoever is, not be afraid to bring it up. You know, we get so caught up in our head and our insecurity and what if I look dumb? What if I look like I'm using this as a crutch? Or I'm not scientific anymore? What if they don't take me seriously?
Right.
And using the Holy Spirit to be like, it's okay, like, you're gonna live, I promise.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're out of time, sadly, but this was so much fun.
Yeah, this is
was
great.
a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm so glad we could. And I'd like to thank our viewers for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for coming. And you can find us on all social platforms, all streaming platforms, under the Front Row with Friends podcast. You can also find us as Friends Baptist Church on our website and on all social media platforms. So, yeah, we hope to see you the next Monday that we post. And we love you so much. And we're done!
All right. All right. Cue the applause.
Yay!